Federal and state health ministers will hold talks in Melbourne today after the government's decision to enact stage 1 of its coronavirus pandemic plan. The emergency response is in place for a worst-case scenario outbreak as airports, schools, hospitals and nursing homes all set up preparations. Joining us live now from Melbourne is ANDREA CROTHERS. ANDREA, what can we expect this morning?
Well, Annalise, naturally we can expect that coronavirus will be headlining those talks between state and federal health ministers. We've actually just seen them come out behind us here now from a closed-door meeting before they undertake more talks here in Melbourne today. Naturally, we're expecting it will be all about the government's decision to enact stage 1 of that emergency pandemic plan. Things that it could include, obviously, around the potential for school closures, more border screening for people coming into Australia, other measures such as specific or dedicated wards for coronavirus within hospitals, as well as how they deal with getting additional staff if doctors themselves were the ones who were infected. Now, this was an extraordinary step by the federal government, actually preempting the World Health Organisation declaring a pandemic, but Scott Morrison this morning says that it was the right call.
We moved 10 days ahead of the WHO last time, and we were right. And now we're getting the same advice from Dr. Murphy again, and that is to we've got ahead, stay ahead in getting these other plans in place should there be a transmission of the disease in Australia. We need to ensure that if the virus were to come to Australia, then we would have everything in the ready to be able to deal with it. You don't want to be running around. If the virus gets to Australia and starts spreading in Australia, you want those things to be in place, which is what we've activated now, which is what this plan is about.
Now, the ban from non-residents entering China has been extended another week, and whilst there's no doubt undoubtedly been a hit on Australia's economy, Scott Morrison says that we are in the position or have the advantage of having a strong economy to deal with a situation like this, whilst Bill Shorten, well, he says that it'd be wrong for the Prime Minister to be using this health crisis to defend his economic position.
Their budget bottom line was already dodgy before coronavirus and even before bushfires. So, I mean, what I wouldn't want to see is the government using coronavirus as an excuse for their own, lack of delivering on promises, because the fact of the matter is their budget was shaky long before coronavirus appeared on the horizon. Excuse me for being a bit cynical, but this government is not going to waste a crisis to try and cover up for their other lack of financial management.
Now, while this plan has been activated, the government has been quick to stress or downplay any panic, asking people to act as normal and business as usual. Now, we are expecting to hear from some of these state and federal health ministers in just a few hours. Annalise?